Brookway Investments, and we're here at the car shed in Holmfirth, West Yorkshire this morning to talk about this magnificent 68 Cadillac Eldorado. You can see right here. This is probably one of the most spectacular and impressive looking cars from the late 60s period. This car rolled out of the General Motors factory, and it's a design which was created by Bill Mitchell, renowned General Motors designer, famous for the design of this car and the equivalent year 67, 68 Buick Rivieras. The Cadillac Eldorado, this particular model, is the premier offering from Cadillac in 1968. It is an exclusive, luxury, high-end, two-door Continental Touring Coupe. This was the epitome of luxury in 1968. This particular car was optioned new from the factory in 68 in triple black format. Black coachwork, black factory vinyl top, full black leather interior. This is an unusual spec car, but an absolutely stunning car. Probably one of the most impressive 68, 67 Eldorados on the eye that I've ever seen in the last 35 years. This is a correct car from front to back. Every badge is on this car. Eldorado down the sides, all the original body moulds and buffer strips. The correct and original Eldorado hubcaps, which are peculiar to this car, because this car is the second year of front wheel drive from Cadillac. A completely new design platform. Obviously it's a monocoque unibody construction. The front wheel drive incorporated the first year of the 472 cubic inch V8 engine. Cadillac stepped that up from 67, which was 429 cube, to this 472 unit, coupled to a 3-speed GM400 turbo hydromatic.
Sorry, I'll edit it. Say it again, we'll edit it.
I lost a little bit there.
Just do ped too.
In 67, Cadillac was running a 429 cubic inch V8 engine. For 68, they stepped it up to 472, second year of the front wheel drive system. It's a monocoque body construction, but it benefits from torsion bar suspension on the front end. We've got heavy duty torsion bars running from the lower wishbones into the frame, midships underneath the car there. Makes for a very stable and balanced and pretty precise ride from what is essentially a very, very big and heavy motor car. A lot of the previous Cadillacs to this date and other models which are traditional rear-wheel drive have a much more wallowy and soft ride. The Eldorado was kind of aimed at the luxury European market. Cadillac were trying to compete with Rolls-Royce, with the Corniche, with other luxury marques with this two-door coupe. And it really is something very, very special. If we look inside the car, you can see original full black leather. This car's done approximately, I think, 80,000 miles. Sorry, just over 100,000 miles. Very, very original car. It's been in New Mexico, but predominantly in Southern California and San Diego and Los Angeles most of its life. It hasn't suffered any of the usual heavy sun damage. We can tell that from the condition of the steering wheel. If we look here, the Bakelite on the steering wheel hasn't cracked and shrunk. The original dash top and fascia, there is no shrinkage cracks in the plastic moulding of the dash. Really unusual to find. Another great thing I like about this car is it's sporting its original vinyl roof fitted at the factory by Cadillac. Now I've seen a lot of reproduction and restorations of vinyl roofs over the years on this particular model and similar years, but this is a Cadillac original roof and it is factory perfect. It's a little bit dusty here from storage, but there's no evidence of rust bubbling, which is particularly apparent on the C-pillars of these cars running down to next to the back screen. But this car's been in a dry, desert, low humidity environment all its life. So there's no corrosion in the car. Underneath is beautiful, it's like new. No evidence of any rust bubbles in these typical areas. These cars suffered very badly from corrosion in the A-pillars and down the screen pillars here, right down inside of here where the door is hinged from. This being a dry desert car, it's all beautiful, solid metal, like the day it came out of the factory. So this particular car has been part of two quite prominent collections in the United States. A chap who has businesses based in Houston, Texas, by the name of Velia Weston, who collects nothing other than fancy, luxury, high-end cars, but they always must be black. This car was in his collection for many years, and a good friend of his, Robert O. Young, famous for the book The PH Miracle, Robert eventually acquired this car from Velia, and Robert used this car for a number of years. Quite a well-known car in the Los Angeles area. A distinct triple black 68 Eldorado is not something you're going to see on the road very often. And just look down the panels of this car. This car's black. It shows up every ripple, every bang, any little nudge that the car's had over the years, and it's a super straight example of this car. Extremely nice. This car's been a pampered car all its life, and it's clearly been garaged. If it hadn't been garaged, this fine roof would have shrunk, split, and deteriorated over the years. The chrome work is exceptional. But just look how bright this original chrome work is on here. Chrome from 1968, in the sun, weather on it, humidity on it, it loses its brightness. This has still got a mirror finish to it. It's magnificent. It really is. And the bumpers are so straight. A lot of cars from this period, you know, a bumper was used for exactly what the name says, for bumping, pushing things out of the way. These cars would get nudged. It's very, very hard to find a car of this design with such perfect straight bumpers, front and back. We're going to go around the back of the car in a moment, and I think this is just another one of the fantastic features of the car. The back end has a unique design, but look at this, just look at the front of this car. 67 and 68 are the only 2 years for Cadillac with these fold-away, vacuum-operated headlights. What a look. The headlights are concealed with what looks to be behind the grille. When you turn the lights on, these sections here just drop away and fall down behind the bumper, exposing your four round, 6-inch round headlights. Stunning looking motor car from every angle. Of course, being a Cadillac, top of the range from General Motors, as we said, this car is equipped with everything. Everything you could want in 1968. We've got the leather. We've got the 3-speed automatic transmission. Of course, we've got air conditioning. We've got power seats. We've got power windows. We've got tilt steering. We've got telescopic steering, as in the steering column itself is telescopic, so you can adjust the position. We've got a twilight sentinel on the lights, which will turn the lights on automatically as it comes dusk in the evening. That may not sound particularly special in today's day and age, but of course in the late 60s, this car just had every refinement that man could think of to incorporate into a luxury car. It's fabulous. Look at the badging on here, Eldorado. If we look at the back of the car here, just look at the design of these body panels. We've got this razor sharp edge on the rear panels, or rear fenders as the Americans would say. Look at the back bumper, look at this intricate design. It is absolutely fantastic. Real sharp angles. No matter which angle you take on this car, it's a very, very sharp looking motor car. Of course, we've got the electric pull down on the trunk lid, you know, the assisted closure. Beautiful design tail lights, like blades, these lights. Fabulous. On the side of the panel, you've got the marker light, the side light as we call them, with the Cadillac wreath on there. I mean, this car just oozes luxury and pure class. Okay, so let's take a look under the bonnet, or for our American friends, under the hood. Great big hood on this car, look at the sides, and it is heavy, it's got some weight in it. Okay, what we've got here. First of all, the thing you're going to notice is, this is an original car under the hood. Correct air cleaner in place. All the original stickers from General Motors that left the factory in '68. We've got some optional extras of somebody's key holder, which they've left on the inner wing there, on the inner fender. But look at the condition of these inner fenders, of these wheel arches. Fantastic. Car's totally original under the hood here. We've got a vacuum tank here. We've got the power brake booster cylinder there. We've got air conditioned pump there, power steering pump here, coolant overflow and washer bottle. It's all in place. Cruise control in place. A lot of going on under the hood here, a lot of plumbing, very, very typical of the mid to late 60s and moving towards 1970. We've got original cast iron manifolds on the engine. Of course, this is the 472 cubic inches we said earlier, which was a new engine for Cadillac. As I say, we went from a 429 to this year was the first year of the 472. Original air cleaner in gold, Cadillac 472 still on there. This is a super original car under the hood. Not done a lot of miles, as we say, just over 100,000 there from new. Great ownership, great history with this car. A super original collectible car. One of my personal favourites, I have to say. I think this is one of the sharpest looking cars you can want to own. So there we have it, 68 Cadillac Eldorado in triple black. 100,000 miles from new, straight as an arrow down the sides, beautiful chrome, off the button, sweet as sugar. A beautiful car.